this corruption is going to stop. It's pushing good people over the top. It's causing pain they don't deserve. These fucking judges, what a nerve. I can smell the smoke in the air. People losing their lives every day. We can't stand for this bullshit game. It's time to light this shit on fire. Let's burn the bitch down. They take our lives. Let's burn the bitch down. It should be no surprise. Let's burn the bitch down. They deserve what they get. Let's burn the bitch down. There is no regret. They're taking kids, ruining their future, making dads run scared through the fire. The courts destroying families, they're such a liar. When the days turn into the nights, they give up, they have no fight. When you break the man, you take his soul. When you take his child, consider yourself told. Let's burn the bitch down. They cause our pain. Let's burn the bitch down. We're not insane. Let's burn the bitch down. They had their chance. Let's burn the bitch down. We show our stance. We won't stand for this anymore. Here I am, let's settle the score. I don't wanna bust your balls. Your honor, you need to fall. You lie almost every day. Pissed off parents are on their way. You can get away with this anymore. Run scared when they pound on the door. You think this is a joke? You'll know better when you smell the smoke. We won't stand for this anymore. We are parents headed to war. Let's burn the bitch down. Whoa. Let's burn the bitch down. Whoa. Let's burn the bitch They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say for those who have been isolated. Don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. So give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stop.
What's up, Tiff?
Oh, you just cracked me up.
Just like an egg.
Yeah, you just cracked me up. So I see Danielle's in here. Danielle, where's our meeting? It's been 3 months.
But we need to speak to him.
Yeah.
These make me look smart because they're smart glasses.
Yeah, I can see your video, your camera or whatever, and your sunglasses.
That's secret.
Oh, that's a secret.
Yeah, we had you in French there for a minute or something. I don't know.
Oh my.
Yeah. So that's going on. Boy, what an interesting week this is turning out to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only because we got a lot of people coming in here with us tonight. We got the man back with us tonight. the controversy man that probably it's his fault that my house got blown up. We got yeah. My daughter's birthday. She's here. There she is. It's her birthday today. She's a young 20, whatever, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 26 plus something. So it's her birthday today. I kept her alive long enough, but why couldn't we have the other one, right? See, there she
Happy
is.
birthday.
Thanks.
So yeah, so it's her birthday today. So everybody tell her happy birthday. Um, yeah, so that's what we're going with that. But yeah, Lewis is back there. You know, Lewis got kicked off of Facebook the same day that I got blown up, same time even.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. And then there's other coincidences too. I mean, maybe he just does have that much information about stuff that people don't want it out there. I mean, a lot of people do talk against him, so I mean, he's got to be doing something right?
Well, yeah, they're talking against him. They're talking against you.
They don't dare talk against you.
Well, I don't really give a fuck if they talk about me or not.
I know that. That's or you will blow them up. You've gone to prison for this.
So, and the reason I laugh every time we come on and you blow that smoke is because people really truly believe that you're a fucking meth and crackhead, and it just blows me the fuck away that I still am getting calls about this.
That's crazy, isn't it? You know, that's probably what they thought they were going to find when my house blew up. That'll be the second time that they've come to that stuff and tried to make whatever we had as a lab. But they didn't, obviously, because I'm not that. I don't get it. I mean, do I have sores all over my face? Do I pick my face? I mean, I have teeth, you know, like I fall asleep. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But hey, let each their own think the way that they want to think. You know, that's their own thing. You know, like even because I know people will look at charges and they'll see things. Even in Gunner's case, you know, like he was accused of the methamphetamine and all that shit, and he never done anything like that in his life because they classify you into that. You know, like they put you into that classification, so people automatically just like, oh, they're a meth head or they're heroin or they're doing this or they're doing that, and it's really just pot. You know what I mean? Like because they put them all in the classifications together. It's crazy. But the hell.
And then if it's not you on my, they're not talking about you to me. They're talking about Mr. Ewing. Oh, he's a fraud. What else did I get? They sent me something that they Googled his name and the bar number he gave out was for an attorney in Florida. Listen, I don't give two fucks about any of that.
Right.
Okay. I got one, too much shit going on in my own life. And two, I don't care. If people are getting kids home, who cares what's going on?
That's right.
Period. I don't care.
Do they? I watched this show yesterday, 100 Things That You Didn't Know About the Constitution and what went on during that. And let me tell you something. Ben Franklin could barely move. He was half dead when he signed the damn thing. They were all getting fucked up, shitting themselves, throwing up, hammered, felons, murdering people, raping, pilfering, all this shit when they're signing the Constitution of the United States. So they
were all criminals.
Right, they didn't give a shit. All they knew that they wanted was a free nation, away from the tyranny and all of that shit that they were dealing with in England. And that's what the fight was. And that's how they could get together in the sweltering heat in Philadelphia, where they blocked that thing up. So it was pretty much a freaking bomb inside of the place. They said it was so damn hot, you know, that they were, you know, and I'll tell you what, first of all, there's no damn way that you were ever going to get that many women together in a room, locked up, sweltering heat like they did to that time to come up with that Constitution. I'm just going to point that out because, man, you can't even get women in the same room together for 5 minutes in air conditioning, let alone put, you know, that many women together. 34, 39, right?
I think it depends on the women, though.
Yeah, you're right. 2 of them is probably too many together in the same room.
Well, I've been in a group full of women, but we're all mature and we're older. Now, younger women, probably not.
Oh my, these younger women now just drive me batty. You know, they're they're 20 going on freaking 6. And I just don't get it. You know, like when we were all younger, and women were mature. You know, it's almost I do when I look at women of our generations having children at 16 and 17, it doesn't look bad to me. Like I'm like, well, they're going to be good moms. It's going to be trying and tough for them, but they're going to be good moms. This kids this day and age, I don't even think they're capable of matching their clothes at that age. You know, like it's just crazy that they've just lacked the responsibility, the motivation, the morals, the any of this stuff. It's just disgusting, and that falls on us, though, right? Like that falls on us as the parents that we have failed somewhere, or is it the society that we live in? I don't know.
It's the society, because I had my first child at 18
Yeah,
and I instantly kicked into mom mode,
if you
right?
were
Like,
naughty,
what?
you were naughty. Tiff was
I've been on
naughty.
my own. I've been on my own since I was 15, almost 16. And I had my first daughter at 18, my second daughter at 19, my son at 21.
You were a lot naughty.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Real women in that generation, my generation, we took care of our kids.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
This
Absolutely.
new generation, I'm going to say in the 20s, in the early 30s, most of those kids are being raised like people like me, like grandmothers.
Yeah, that's good. That is good because can you imagine if these kids were being raised by the parents that have just so easily just cast them off? Because that's what I
Yeah.
really think. I think that a lot of these kids have just cast them off to their grandparents and they don't think twice about it. And you know what? That really sucks. That really sucks when someone like me and my wife have a kid that we loved and we wanted and we like, that it came to us and God gave us that gift because Mary wasn't even supposed to even have children and all of this. And then these son of a bitches come in, swoop in and take it away. And you're like, what the fuck? Mary and I do it all the time. We go to Walmart and we're like, we see it all the time. Kids got one shoe on, shit's coming up its back, the parents dragging it through the carpet. And we're like, oh, well, they can have their kid, but here we are, changing our daughter's outfit every 27 minutes and making sure her shoes aren't dirty and everything else. And they're like, oh no, you're not fit to be a parent, sorry dude, you know what I mean, throwing her shoes away every day because they're old, you know what I mean, like what the fuck. But it's crazy. Well, let's bring Lewis in though. Let's see what he has to say about this business.
All right. And if I have to leave, it's because I got a sick one here.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lewis Ewing.
How you doing, Darren?
Yeah, Mr. Ewing, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How you doing, Tiff?
What's your thoughts, Lewis? What do you think about what we just talked about there?
I'm sorry, I was reading something when you were talking. I was waiting for you to bring me on.
Oh, no, it's no problem. We were just talking all kinds of good about you. That's all. So you missed it. It's fine.
Well, that goes par for the course.
Yeah. So, no, what we were talking about.
All the scammers in this movement don't like me.
Ooh, a lot of people, they got the gossip going. But what we were talking about is this generation of when our generation, I guess will include you in that too. I know, Tiff, we're stretching a little
I heard
bit.
a little bit about women. Shouldn't have
Yeah.
two women in the
that's usually-
same room.
There's a 50% chance we're going to talk about women,
This whole my personal opinion is that the feminist movement has all but destroyed the American nuclear family.
Yeah.
All this equality shit where women want to be equal, let's just fucking put that aside because women are not equal to men, never have been and never will be.
No,
we invented 85% of all the important inventions. And when you try to look at anything women invented, it couldn't have been done without a roof being put over their head, without electrical that we put in that building, without plumbing and water that we put in that building, and all the tools we gave them to build something. So when you really look at it all, we invented everything.
Well, all that and NASA. But, I agree with you to a level there. Not everything on that level, but the women have different purposes than men. That's like women, and the problem is
that's to procreate, make babies.
Right, and they are. They're supposed to be the good parent. They're supposed to be. I mean, the Bible says that. Like the women are supposed to be the homemakers. They're supposed to be the one that take care of their husbands. They take care of the babies, And that's not saying that they're
The Bible doesn't say anything about a so-called partnership or an equal partnership. It says the woman is supposed to be our helper at Genesis 2:18.
Right.
Our helper, our helpmate, whatever the man's profession is, you help promote and support him in his business. Not, I want to go to work and abandon my husband and give my husband half of a wife, and I'm going to abandon my children and give my children half of a mother.
Right. They need 100%.
Today's generation is all about me, I. Okay. Right. It's like men have to work 10 times harder to get a woman that's 20 times worse than our grandmothers. The modern day term for it is called hoflation.
Hoflation. It's
hoflation.
It's because kids should never be like their mom. That should never, ever be a question. I mean, look at Tiff. Look at Tiff. Raise her kids, and now she's raising her grandkids. Those kids are never without the mom, you know? Babe is out working all the time. He's doing his thing. He's doing all of this. But they're never without their mother. Ever, 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 ever. You know, she feels
everybody, the women need to go back home and raise our children.
Yep.
It's up to the man to lead, the woman to follow. We're supposed to teach our women our religious, political, and historical beliefs, and then they're supposed to transplant that knowledge and belief system down to our kids. And the government doesn't want us raising up our kids.
Right.
They want to, you know, here's the thing. When the women's suffrage movement, that was a Jewish conspiracy led by Margaret Anthony and all her Jewish sisters. The conspiracy was to get the woman out of the home, double the amount of people in the workplace so that they could lower the man's wages. Now you got twice the amount of people in the workplace that could, you got twice the amount of people they can tax. And now they have access to our children. Where you send them to the public school system, spelled SKOOL, where I guarantee you, if your children weren't schooled, SKOOLED, they were fooled. And if they weren't fooled, they were schooled. And now, you know, our children are being raised by faggots, lesbians, transgenders, drag queens. You know, I identify as this, I identify as that. People ask me, you know, what's your pronoun? What the fuck is this pronoun shit? You can't change the English language. Okay, right. There's only two genders, he and a she. I had a person once tell me that they were, what's that word? Not cisgender, the other one where they claim to be both.
Morphodite.
No, the hermaphrodite. There's another one.
Oh, I don't know that.
Not unisex, not hermaphrodite. There's another term, and I forget what
asexual?
It is. Huh?
Asexual?
No, there's another word for it.
I don't know.
And I said, you're full of shit. Pull down your pants.
Right.
If you're the person that is neither boy or girl, then you won't have a penis. You won't have a vagina. You'll just have skin there to look like your belly just continued on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they do it? Did they do it?
No, they didn't want to do it. Of course not.
Yeah. I mean, that's just pretty simple. And this is why, because they've left the children, we have left our kids defenseless against CPS by taking both parents, putting them in the workplace, by leaving them there unsupervised.
100%. Right. You know what? I'll tell you this. I don't care if I piss off all the women. It's the women's fault CPS even exists.
That's true.
If all the women had stayed home and never went out to the workplace, if all the women stayed home and raised their children, there would be no CPS, would there?
Right, because there was a bunch of busybody women that wanted to come out and do this for a job, to come out and do these kids. So they're the ones that even started it anyway. That's how this started. CPS started, was a profession by these women that were part of the SPCA. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, what about the kids too? You know, like they were giving the dogs and the cats more care and everything than the orphan kids that were running around the streets of the cities. And then the women of the rich men said, well, we got to do something about this. And then they came in, and that's how CPS was born. But overall, the parents being out and I say parents, no, you're right. It's the moms that have left the home, left the nest, and not been there for these kids that they should be. You know, like if mom wants to go to work after the kids have grown up and got into high school or whatever, go for it. Absolutely. You know what? Go do your thing. Be you. Be the whatever you are. That's fine. But man, when those kids are young and they're supposed to be nurtured and cared for, and just look, the Bible says it. Don't learn from the book, learn from the animals. They'll teach you everything you need to know.
There's a whole new movement now called the Passport Bros. Have you heard of that?
No, I can't imagine what you're going to say.
It's men that are sick and tired of all the bullshit from women here in the West that don't cook, don't want to cook, can't clean.
Mhm.
I mean, women today can't even heat a hot pocket. Men are getting passports and going to foreign countries like Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Singapore, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, you know, and over there, women were quote unquote properly trained. That's right. You can't say that to an American woman. What do you mean trained? Yeah, trained from childhood to obey and serve their men. And man, can they fucking cook?
Right.
Oh my God.
Well, look, they don't even have home economics class.
Hold on.
Women today can't even heat a hot pocket.
Well, I really hope you're not talking about my generation, because I cook, clean, I work, I take care of my house, I do all of that.
Mhm.
But
She does too.
I do not serve anybody.
I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about 80% of them.
Well, good.
I'd say 10.
I'm not that
10%.
one.
I say 10% of the women are top notch, number one type of women. The next 10%, okay, they're pretty good, but they're not totally busted out yet with this feminist shit. But 80% of the women out there, they're not wife material.
Well, I
Now,
will
what
tell
were you
you
going to say,
this.
Tiff? What were you going to say? You were going to say, but I do not. What?
Oh, I do not serve people, and I do not follow down behind anybody, man, woman, or child. Okay. But I will say this. My generation of women, like I said before, when we had kids, our instincts just kicked in and we knew what to do, right? We know you got to feed them, you got to take care of them. You're their life support.
Mhm.
And then I got a daughter who likes them when they're cuddly, right? Until they start moving and she can't control them anymore. And then they're at my doorstep.
Yeah, that's what's happening. When the fun's over, right? When the cuteness.
But anyway, we should make another show for another night about bashing the feminists. Let's talk about CPS. I already got enough women haters. I got enough women haters as it is. We don't need to make it bigger tonight.
Well, you know, it's just this all needs to be talked about because this is all part of the defense of CPS. Like,
I've had women call me a misogynist, and I asked them, "Well, do you know what a misogynist is?" And then they turn to their girlfriends and say, "Do you know what a misogynist is?" Like, why are you calling me names? You don't even know what it is. They say Andrew Tate is a misogynist. And then I asked them, "Well, do you know what a misogynist is?" And they turn to their girlfriends and ask their girlfriends, and none of them knows. Well, I'll tell you, a misogynist is a man that hates women. He's got 20 women laying poolside, half naked in bikinis, beautiful women, waiting their turn. I don't think Andrew Tate hates women. I think he maybe loves too many at the same time.
Right, yeah.
And you can't say I hate women.
Well, I will say this. My dad has said pretty much what you said, right? Like the men, he said the men and the women.
I'll just say it simple. I love the pink taco way too much to ever hate women.
Oh, Lord, I'm getting out of this conversation. Can we talk about CPS?
Okay, now let's move on to CPS stuff.
All right.
Let's move on to CPS stuff.
Alicia's here. Everybody say hi to Alicia. There she is. She's back. There's our girl.
And at least everybody knows I'm a real guy with a sense of humor.
That's right.
I just tell it the way it is. I have a potty mouth, so I apologize to everybody in advance. I was a Bering Sea crab fisherman for 13 years. I made my living pushing 700-pound pots across the decks of Alaska in the Bering Sea, based out of Dutch Harbor. I started out for a company called Arctic Ice Alaska Fisheries Corporation, which back in the 80s and 90s was the largest crab fleet in the world. Okay. And I worked on a boat called the Alaskan Enterprise. It was the very first boat I worked on. That was the number one moneymaker boat for Arctic Ice Alaska Fisheries Corporation for 10 years plus. It paid for the rest of the fleet. And that crew that I was on was the last of the badasses of the baddest ass crab fucking fishermen ever in all of Alaska. And that crew probably trained all the other crabbers that are in Alaska today that came off the Alaskan Enterprise.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a job.
Yeah, that's talking 75 times more dangerous than any job on land. So people telling me they want me to pay them to work to hand out my one-page flyers are just shitting up the wrong tree. Okay.
Speaking of your one-page flyers, man.
Mr. Ewing, you expect me to work I'm so tired from handing out one piece of paper. Yeah, so anyway, I was a crab fisherman for 13 years before I got involved with law stuff, but I was actually doing legal stuff at the same time in Alaska. In Alaska, they know me as the tax man because I didn't pay any federal income taxes for 13 years. And everybody in Alaska, they know me as the tax man. And all the deckhands were pissed because when I started out as a butcher, where I actually butchered the crab, and I worked on the Alaskan Enterprise was a catcher processor. So we actually butchered the crab. You know, we gutted them, we gilled them, and threw them down into packing trays, and the packers would put them into a cooking trays, 100-pound boxes.
Oh wow!
Okay.
So that boat was just all just everything was done when you pulled into the harbor. You just dropped the boxes off, and that was it.
Well, we cooked them and packed them in 100-pound boxes and put them in the freezer. And when the hole was full, we'd bring it in and offload and go back out and do it over and over again. You know, we worked 18 hours on, 4 hours off, 18 hours on, 4 hours off around the clock.
Did you get to eat as much crab as you wanted?
Oh yeah. We ate everything. If a fresh octopus came up, man, I'd snatch that up. And I'd cut some of the legs off and I'd put a hanger on it and put it in the cooker with the crab. I'd be eating in the middle of my work shift.
Oh my Lord.
As a way to maintain energy, to eat while you're working.
Yeah, I guess the hell. But what about CPS?
Okay, so CPS, folks. Anyway, I've identified, folks, 16 things that don't work. And I first got involved with the family law groups in 1999. Before that, I'd been doing criminal law for 10, 15 years. So I have lots of court experience in all areas of law. I've made my living undercutting attorneys and law firms for the last 25 to 30 plus years, specializing in helping pro se litigants. What I've done over that 25, 30-year period is I've taken the best elements of an attorney, the best elements of a paralegal. I've combined them both into a system, a style of legal writing that I believe that working with me you're a lot better off than going into court and have some attorney represent you. The attorneys don't even do the work. They hire paralegals. They pay them chump change, 20, 25 bucks an hour. They dump way too many cases on the paralegals. They can't possibly do a good job on you. They don't pay them good enough, you know, so they're looking at the clock all day long. They just want to get the hell out of there. They're not putting any love or passion into the work. Okay, I'm the senior lawyer, junior lawyer. I'm the paralegal. I'm the secretary. I'm the receptionist. You know, this is my law library. I've been here at Mo Clips for 15 years. Every single one of those 3-ring binders, I filled by hand, one page at a time, you know, with case law that I photocopy by hand and I highlight stuff that I like. I take a 3-hole puncher. When I'm done reading it, put it all in those notebooks. Each notebook's a different subject matter. But here's the main problem I see with CPS and all the groups. I want you guys to study COINTELPRO after this. I'll tell you real quickly first the 4 things. COINTELPRO, they're an offshoot of the FBI and CIA. Their number one job is to keep all the groups divided, conquered, and fighting amongst each other. Their number 2 job is to keep all the groups on the same losing path, doing the same thing over and over again. That does not work. It does not result in any children being returned home. Number 3, COINTELPRO's job is to watch out for anybody that has money. A rich person, a multimillionaire, somebody that could be a threat to the government. That person who's the COINTELPRO agent, who either is the number one right-hand man or maybe even the person who founded the group, okay? They will glom onto that rich person and they will get them to fund their useless projects. And that person is going to get pissed off sooner or later because they keep spending money and no results. No kids get returned home. So sooner or later, that rich person quits the group. They're pissed off that they got used and nobody can ever approach them for money again because they're going to think that we're all scammers. Number 4, if somebody is a legitimate, somebody who actually has a track record of beating government, they will do everything in their power to discredit that person. They'll try to discredit Louis Ewing. You know, I get it either way. They'll say, oh, he's not a real attorney. Okay, well, I got authorized to practice law. Okay. I without having to attend law school. I got authorized to practice law without having to take or pass the state bar exam. I got authorized to practice law without having to join the State Bar Association. You know, and I've been admitted to the American Bar Association, the National Native American Bar Association, the Northwest Native American Bar Association, and the Federal Bar Association. So I'm actually a federal lawyer also. Now, some people recently told Tiff, well, I looked on the federal bar site. He's not there right now. Okay, guess what? I wasn't aware of it. I don't keep track of all my bills when they come through. But when you don't pay your bill, they just like take your name off of it. They'll leave it, I just get it right now. I've got more stuff to pay for. I got some car problems. My son I had to replace my son's transmission. I just bought my other son a new used Volvo for like $4,000 plus. To me, a bar card, it's not important. The fact is, the bars know that I'm a lawyer. I can't, it's folks, look this up. It's against the law to advertise you're a lawyer when you're not a lawyer. It's against the law to advertise you're an attorney when you're not an attorney. It's a felony crime in all 50 states. Okay. So why would I be dumb and advertise I'm a lawyer if I'm not really a lawyer? Because like that'd be saying I'm committing a felony. Come get me. Okay. I'm not stupid. Okay. And the flip side of it is the conspiracy theorists, the patriots or the patriots for profit or the scammers, the sovereign citizen types, the state nationals, they'll say, oh, Mr. Ewing's a member of the bar. He's part of the conspiracy against us. I can't win. If I'm a bar attorney, the sovereigns will say I'm part of the conspiracy to work against the parents. Okay. And then if I'm not a member of the bar, they'll say I'm a fake. Well, you know what matters? The fact that I win cases. I have a huge list of testimonials. And I'll send it out to anybody.
How many kids have you gotten home? How many CPS cases have you won?
I've got dozens, but I only post about 4 or 5 of them.
All right.
Okay. And I have other parents who don't want their names revealed. Okay. But you can contact June Ann Anderson in Conroe, Texas. June Ann Anderson. She'll tell you, it's been 6-7 years since I've even talked to her. But at that time, she said that she caused 15 plus children all to be returned at once because they were like all taken on the same day. She served them with my 18 USC 5033 invoke your child's right to remain silent flyer, and my CPS cannot search your house without a warrant flyer, and CPS returned them right away. Mm-hmm. There was another man named John Miller, 2016, out of Montana, who called me up on a Friday. I don't know if he switched his Facebook or took his Facebook down, but when I posted his link, I didn't realize that his Facebook was down. John Miller called me up on a Friday and told me they just took his 3-year-old daughter. Okay, he had a similar situation with mine. He, fell in love with a stripper who was a drug addict. Okay, and so she accused him of, doing things or whatever. And that's why he didn't want his name and stuff on the internet, because he don't like, people digging into his personal shit.
You honored that.
What's that?
I said, good thing you just honored that.
I tell people, look, motherfucker, I won your case. Okay, I got your kid back. You're not going to tell me I can't advertise you. Fuck you, Mm-hmm. And it's like I can't win. Even when I win, people don't want their name out. Well, how am I going to advertise my service? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this guy didn't have money to hire me. Okay, he told me a story. I said, well, dude, your story fits my flyers perfectly. Okay, I've got 2 flyers that cover your situation. So here's what you do. I'm going to email you these flyers, and I want you to go down to the sheriff's office first thing Monday morning, serve them a copy, get them a stamp received a copy, go over to the CPS social worker office, serve them a copy of these 2 flyers, get them the stamp received, and then go to the post office and mail it. Well, he skipped the post office step. He went home, parked his car inside his garage. All his curtains were closed. He said literally he'd only been home for a couple of minutes. The sheriffs, he could hear them screeching their brakes because they were speeding, and they screeched to a stop. They opened up their door of an SUV, and they made the 3-year-old little girl get out on the street in the woods in Montana. They didn't even come and knock up. Yeah, this is fucking dangerous. This is bullshit. They didn't even bother to come knock on the door to make sure he's home. And this guy lives in the boonies in the woods in Montana. We're talking bobcats, cougars, coyotes. A grizzly bear could have eaten our 3-year-old little girl. But they returned his kid because he got the flyer served before they could open up a case. And I tell people these flyers are designed to be served before they open a case, because once they open a case, it's too late by then. By then, you'll have to hire an attorney, or you'll have to hire me, or go pro se yourself, or take a public defender. Mm-hmm. But these flyers work, okay? And the reason why, like, my CPS can't search your house without a flyer works is because it
Yes,
has a
it's
case called
just
Payton
a
versus
fire.
New York. Payton versus New York is the number one holding U.S. Supreme Court decisions that holds that cops can't search your house without a warrant. Every police officer, county sheriff, state patrol, they learn about Payton versus New York before they can even graduate from the police academy. In each one of these flyers, I use your state statute. I use your state constitution. I've done it for all 50 states. Okay. These flyers work. So let's talk about the 16 things that don't work, folks, that I want you to notice. We have the groups are doing marches. Marches don't work. Okay, we did a march. Now what? What's next? When are we going to bring the kids home? Rallies. Rallies don't work. Okay, we did the rally. What are we going to do? When are we going to get the kids back? They got no answer. They bring nothing to the table. Oh, we're going to do a protest. Same thing. March, rallies, protest. We did the march, rally, protest. What are we going to do next? Well, we're going to have a march next year. We're going to have a march this summer, a rally this summer, a protest this summer. Like, this is useless stuff. It doesn't work.
Well, hold up, because it doesn't work for the purpose of maybe getting your kid home, but it does work for the notice of maybe bringing attention to the movement itself. Let's
really
clarify that. You don't think
I've been hearing that same argument since 1999. In fact, I've been credited with destroying the Million Parent March, because when I first got involved with the family movement, that was one of the first things I did. Is I attacked the Million Parent March. I said, this is bullshit. You don't even have 100 parents there. Why are you calling it a Million Parent March?
Well, see, that's it right there. Is we've been trying to do that for the longest time, because the biggest thing with this movement is we can't get unified enough, because this movement should be the biggest movement that there is of all time. You have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of victims that have been involved. And that's the true number right there. What I just said is millions and millions.
Here's the problem.
You know?
Like I said, COINTELPRO's number one job is to keep all the groups divided, conquered, and fighting amongst each other. So we have mothers' rights groups, fathers' rights groups, equal shared parenting groups, split custody 50-50 groups, stop medical kidnap groups, stop forced adoption groups, stop parental alienation groups, domestic violence groups, domestic violence survivor groups, every type of live beat dad, deadbeat dad groups, every type of fight CPS or stop group CPS group you can imagine. And some of these groups have hundreds of members. Some of these groups have thousands of members. Some of these groups have a chapter in every single state. And all these people are doing the same thing over again. Like I said, marches, rallies, protests, petitions don't work. The next thing that doesn't work, Facebook Lives. People who do Facebook Lives are scammers. Me, I, me. Facebook Lives doesn't work. Speaking to county council meetings, that's bullshit. Speaking to county council meetings don't work. Okay, it's never worked. Speaking to city council meetings don't work. Speaking to state legislature,
unless you're young Claire and you're trying to rip these counties up because she's getting people to quit, get fired, leave, all of the above. So I mean, it depends on your purpose, right? Like, it can't just be in general. Now, Tanawa and Jessica going to these county council meetings, serving 17 and 20 or whatever the hell their numbers are. Now that doesn't work. That's bullshit. But young Claire,
let me point in on that, folks. This Tanawa Downing is a convicted felon. So why is anybody taking legal advice from a convicted felon? That's number one. Number two, Tanawa Downing has never won a case in any area of law. Number three, Tanawa Downing has never won a CPS case and has never caused a single child to be returned home. Okay, so I call him grasshopper, beginner, sovereign citizen, because that's what he is. Because he's pushing sovereign citizen arguments. And I'll get into that. Next thing is his girlfriend, Jessica Saxton. She's never won a case in any area of law. She's never won a single CPS case. She's never caused a single child to be returned home. Now, here's the next thing, folks. Neither Tanawa Downing or Jessica Saxton, they don't have any skin in the game. They don't have a child in CPS custody. So why are they here? Oh, I get it. They're both unemployed, and they come up with a way to take advantage of and scam parents that are desperate not to lose their children. Okay, so why are they appearing in county council meetings? That's to fool all the dummies. Oh my God, look, they're in the Court of Appeals. Look at that. There's a whole panel of judges. Well, to the uneducated eye, that council room looks like the Court of Appeals. It looks like they're in the state Supreme Court. And it looks like they're a panel of judges. In a lot of states, the county council members wear black robes So the uneducated person might think that they're actually a panel of judges. I even heard Tanawa Downing in one of the videos refer to a county council person as Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is this? That guy's not a judge. He's a county commissioner. And you're not in a fucking courtroom. What kind of scam bullshit are you trying to pull? That's fucking bullshit. You don't call a county commissioner Your Honor. He's not a judge. Now, some lady wrote in my Facebook, well, Mr. Ewing, at least they got balls to stand up to the courts and the judges. What are you doing? And I was trying to write the lady back, but I was already getting blocks on Facebook. I couldn't reply or answer anybody in my own Facebook. And I was going to write back and tell her, folks, it doesn't take any balls to go to a county council meeting. The county commissioners, they don't have the power of arrest like a judge does. They can't arrest you for contempt of court because you're not in a court. The worst they can do to you at a county council meeting is to shut off your speaker and tell you you're done. Leave the mic, your turn's done. And if you don't, they can trespass you. They can tell you to leave the building. That's it. They don't have the power of arrest. So it doesn't take any balls to do that. And here's another thing. County councils, city councils, they have no authority, no power, no jurisdiction, and most importantly, no control over CPS or the court system. Everybody, they'll tell you, if you got a problem with CPS, you need to take it up with the state legislature. So why are you there? You're at the wrong bat place, at the wrong bat channel, at the wrong bat time because you're batshit stupid, or you're just a fucking scammer. Okay, now that they spoke at the county council meeting, they got their donations. What's next, Tanawa and Jessica? When are we going to get kids back? Well, we need more money in donations because we're going to go to another county council meeting and we're going to speak to the county council again. Okay, now that they spoke at the second county council meeting and they got donations to do that, and they were traveling, getting a free tour, a free vacation, driving around David Weagle's Airstream, wearing out the shocks and the tires. I don't know how they wear out the shocks. They've been bouncing up and down on something. I don't get it. I think you guys get it. Okay. But anyway, no children have ever been returned. So why are you folks donating money to something that doesn't work? They're scamming you. Straight up scam. You know what? Here's another thing. I looked it up. I'm going to be posting this. I'm going to send this out in a massive email to everybody. Everything Jessica Saxon and Tana are doing violates, she's from Tennessee. I'm going to post you guys the Tennessee unauthorized practice of law statute so you can all turn her in. Their website, Justice Without Limits, every single document, complaint, affidavit that they file there violates the Tennessee unauthorized practice of law statute.
Hey, did you know? Let me give you a little piece of information. I want everybody to research the address. They say that they're litigants, pro se litigants from Washington, D.C., right? Look at the address that they say is their home address. Go ahead and look that up and find out where that is. You know where it is?
No.
The Veterans Affairs Center, the VA. That's where they say that their home address is in Washington, D.C.
So we got two homeless people scamming parents who are desperate not to lose their kids. Two homeless people that are unemployed. To find out they're unemployed. That's the main thing right there. They're unemployed. They don't have jobs. This is their only way to make money is to scam parents. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not to mention, like I said, they have no wins under their belt. So why are you taking legal advice from a convicted felon, folks, and his girlfriend, who likewise has no wins under her belt? Okay.
You didn't even go to her own kid's hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, she don't give a fuck about her own kids. She missed at least two of her hearings that I know of.
Her own hearing.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a good one for you. I'm waiting for Danielle Gandy to send me the info on this. Jessica Saxton invaded one of my podcasts. She came under, and Danielle Gandy saved a screenshot of it. She came under the name Concerned Citizen. Okay. She listened to most of the show. And then she broke into the show and introduced herself, and everybody immediately recognized her voice. We all knew it was Jessica. She actually tried to debate me. She made a fucking fool of herself. She made a clown of herself because she doesn't know the law. And then pulling her master's degree psychology bullshit. Mr. Ewing, so you disagree with the Constitution? All I could do is start from laughing. I said, well, Miss Saxton, I don't care that you're quoting the Constitution. You're misapplying it, and you don't understand it. And did you file a certified copy of the Constitution into evidence? Did you put the Constitution on a note for motion form? Did you note it up for hearing? But she's quoting the section of the Constitution that says you have the right to a grand jury indictment. Folks, this is the number one thing that's going to prove to all of you that Tanawa Downing and Jessica Saxton are both illiterate. They do not understand the English language. They've been boyfriend, girlfriend for a couple of years now, and they're going around to all these cities and county council meetings arguing that Tanawa Downing has a right to a grand jury indictment. And he has a right to a grand jury indictment. Go read the section of the U.S. Constitution that says you have the right to do a grand jury indictment. Now go ask, I want all of you to go ask Tanawa Downing, were you convicted of a felony crime in a federal court or state court? Yeah, there's a big one. You guys are going to love this. He was convicted of a felony crime in a state court for domestic violence. That's a violation of state law. Okay. The U.S. Constitution says you have the right to a grand jury in when you've been charged with an infamous crime in violation of the laws of the United States. He was not charged with violating any of the laws of the United States because that can only take place in the United States District Federal Court. Now, if he'd been charged with violating the laws of the United States, he would have got a grand jury indictment, but he doesn't understand the English language. He's illiterate. He's incompetent. I'm surprised Jessica Saxton or Tanawa Downing ever graduated from high school because he was not charged with or found guilty of violating any crime that was a violation of the laws of the United States Code. That would be the United States Code, the USC. He was charged and found guilty of a felony crime in a state court for domestic violence under state law. So they're quoting the wrong Constitution for a state crime. It doesn't even fucking apply. Like, are you fucking stupid, the both of you? Jessica Saxton and Tanawa Downing are too fucking stupid. They're ignorant. They're illiterate. They're not competent. And I'm telling you right now, I've reviewed, they have this idea they're going to collect complaints. Folks, I want all of you to contact Danielle Gandhi. She's going to put together a list of names for me. She went to D.C. These people have been touring the country, Jessica Saxton and Tanawa Downing, touring the country, collecting everybody's complaints. They said they needed donations for gas money and travel expenses and staying in motels and hotels to collect everybody's complaints. And they said they were going to serve the United States Supreme Court. That was a lie. They got everybody to meet them up in Washington, D.C., conveniently on the weekend when everything is closed, to con everybody into giving them donations for all the hard work and all the things they're going to do for us. Where did those boxes? Daniel said there was boxes and boxes full of complaints. Those complaints never got served. Never got served in anybody. And she's been saying on numerous of her videos that Tanawa Downing is going to speak before the United States Supreme Court. Folks, I got news for you. They don't allow pro se litigants to speak before the Supreme Court. And they sure as hell ain't going to allow a convicted felon to speak before the Supreme Court who can't tell the difference between a state constitution and the U.S. Constitution and whether or not it applies in a state or a federal court. Like, this dude dumber than a box of rocks. I've seen his legal writings. I tell you right now, Tanawa Downing and Jessica Saxton, they couldn't even get a job as the lowest paid paralegal at the worst law firm in town. I don't care. Even if they promise to give every attorney in the law firm a free blowjob every day. That's how bad they suck at legal writing. That's the fucking truth. I don't care if you think I'm vulgar or not. What I'm sick and tired of is seeing scammers rip you parents off.
That's it.
From now on, folks, whenever you're taking legal advice from somebody, the leader of your group, you got to ask him, well, can you show us some cases you won? I don't care if you even lost some cases. Folks, I'm not perfect. I'm not Superman. I lose cases. Okay? But I've got a lot more wins than losses. Okay? And I don't make excuses for losing. Everybody else goes, the judges are corrupt. Boo-hoo, wah. Okay? We all know the judges are corrupt. I don't boo-hoo and wah. When I lose a case, I blame myself. It's my fault. I fucked up. Somehow that judge or prosecutor or the assistant attorney general, they got over on me. They trick-bugged me. I get pissed off. I blame myself. I throw all my emotions in the garbage can, and I head back to the library, and I do a bunch more research and do a whole bunch more photocopying of cases, and I just start over from scratch. Even in a case where a court where I've lost a case, I'll find some other drunk driver victim, some drug dealer, even a CPS case. I'll go back into that same court where a judge or attorney general or prosecutor ruled against me, and I'll find a client in that court for the exact same thing, case, whatever type of case I lost, and I'll write the briefs for them. I'll get them to hire me, and then I go back and win. And then I let them know, yeah, motherfucker, I figured out how you got me last time, but it ain't going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just keep plodding forward.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know,
all you can do, man. That's all you can do.
You know, there's attorney people out there.
Lead by example, Lewis. Lead by example, right?
Exactly. And like I said, I don't just brag about wins. I lose cases, but I've learned from my mistakes, and I just keep moving forward. I don't quit. I don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, folks, number one thing is I want you to ask these groups. I want you to ask every single leader of the group, and I'll challenge anybody who's a leader of any of these groups to debate me in any area of criminal law, civil law. But here's the question all of you folks can bring to them. Well, if you had to file a lawsuit by the end of next week that the family code's unconstitutional and you wanted to get rid of CPS, what would your argument be? They're all going to come up blank. They're just going to say, well, it's unconstitutional. You got to have more than that. You can't say, well, let's call it what it is. Let's call it kidnapping. You can't take a great, big, gigantic paintbrush. No, answer the question, how is it unconstitutional? None of them can answer you. Nobody has an answer. What's the goal? When are we going to stop CPS? When are we going to shut CPS down? When are we going to get kids back? They have no answer for you. And the reason for this, folks, is all your leaders in this movement, they're not leaders. They're ignorant of the law. They don't have 1/10 of the knowledge of the law that I do. Okay? So I've named, 16 things already that don't work?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll name at least 10 things that do work that none of them have ever suggested.
Oh, man, so I'm curious about this one.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the causes of action. Okay, here's my goalpost. Let me name the goalpost first. I'm going to make it real simple, less than 2 minutes. Folks, here's the goalpost. Here's the end of CPS. I'm going to take the entire family code. I'm going to abolish the family court, okay, by filing a motion for declaratory judgment to get a ruling that the entire family code is unconstitutional. I'm going to take the family code off the civil side of the court, which right now, McCormick's on Evidence, a special set of law books, says the preponderance of evidence standard is the lowest threshold of evidence there is based upon the weight of a feather at 51%. You combine that with the fact that all the attorneys conspired, the attorneys who created the family court, they conspired to give CPS social workers absolute immunity from committing perjury in a United States Supreme Court decision called Briscoe versus LaHue, Briscoe. Briscoe versus LaHue, Lahue. Okay, so between the preponderance of evidence standard and Briscoe versus LaHue, the ability to commit perjury, this is how social workers are getting away with it. They're going into court, they're lying, they're providing nothing more than hearsay testimony, and that judge is rubber stamping, boom, 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 50 to 100 emergency pickup orders. That's how they're getting away with it. So I'm going to take the whole thing off the civil side of the court, and I'm going to put the whole thing, after I get the declaratory judgment, I'm going to introduce a bill before the state legislature because the family code's gone now. And I'm going to put the whole family code on the criminal side of the court. Where now, if in the future, the state wants to terminate a parent's rights, they will have to charge the parent with criminal dependency, criminal abandonment, criminal neglect, criminal abuse, or criminal sexual abuse. And now that they have to charge the parent with a crime, they will be required by law to use the beyond a reasonable doubt standard, the same as every other type of criminal case. And the beautiful thing about it is they will be automatically required to give them a jury trial. That's it. I have announced the end of the CPS right there. Less than 2-3 minutes. I just told you that, what my goal is, how my group, Operation Greylord, Lewis Ewing, Operation Greylord CPS groups, and Lewis Ewing CPS Financial Crimes Investigation Squads. Operation Greylord, I'm the first and only one on the internet CPS groups to announce Operation Greylord as my project. Conveniently enough, these idiots, somehow they got their people to tag team and get my Facebook removed. The very next day, this dizzy broad, Jessica Saxton, she's announcing she's doing Operation Greylord 2.0. She can't do it. 100% impossible. Okay? There's no way. Only a very experienced criminal prosecutor or a highly experienced criminal lawyer could do Operation Greylord. Somebody who's in the top 5-10% of the upper echelon of the more knowledgeable, wiser, and much experienced attorneys. And I put myself in that category. Why? Well, you didn't go to law school, Mr. Ewing. I got authorized to practice law without going to law school. So who's smarter, folks?
Mm-hmm.
The man or woman who spent 4 years going to college to get a bachelor's degree. They spent another 4 years getting a law degree. They spent 8 years of their adult life, burned through $200,000 to $300,000 to go through law school and college. Finally passed the bar, and finally got joined the bar. Who's smarter, that person or me, the guy who walked into a court with a random drunk driver case, and I told the judge I'm going to represent my client. Your Honor, I didn't go to law school. I didn't take the bar exam. Okay, I'm not going to join the bar, but I'm going to represent my client. And under the threat of arrest, because the judge threatened me that he was going to have me arrested for contempt of court and unauthorized practice of law, I out-debated him on the spot. That was Judge Dale Rammerman, okay, in 2004. I actually got authorized to practice law in the late 1990s by Carolyn Dimmick. Carolyn Dimmick is a former state superior court judge. She's also a United States District Court federal judge, senior federal judge. She died recently. Dale Rammerman, in 2004, I walked into his court. Dale Rammerman, in 2004, was one of the oldest, considered among the wisest judges in the state of Washington. He was the chief presiding judge of all the King County Superior Courts in downtown Seattle. I out-debated him. He couldn't arrest me with the 5 sheriffs he had lying in wait in the courtroom to arrest me, and he allowed me to represent my client. I got authorized to practice law under the common law rule, the same way former President Abraham Lincoln. I'll send you an email. I got a list of a dozen other famous lawyers in American legal history that got authorized to practice law without ever having to attend law school. I'm one of those type of lawyers. Okay. Mm-hmm. So anyway, here's the causative action, folks. I've announced the end. The goalpost is right here. We're going to take this is the basic thing. We're going to abolish the family court. We're going to take the family code and move it from the civil side court to the criminal side of the court, where now they have to give everybody a jury trial and they have to use the beyond a reasonable doubt standard. That, folks, if that happened today, that means 90 to 95% of all cases would have to be dismissed and children be returned home. This is the end of CPS. I'm announcing it. And I believe the majority of these groups are either undercover COINTELPRO agents, undercover CPS social workers, or advocates who are just nickel and diming the parents for money. And these fake advocates, folks, you need to tell all your people, your advocates, the people who run your groups, whatever group you're in, the administrator of your groups, why haven't you let Louis Ewing in? Why are you blocking Louis Ewing? Here's what happens, folks. I want you to know this. These people are the traitors. They're the traitors to all you parents. I go into a group. Here's a really good example. I'll go into a group. There'll be hundreds of thousands of members. Somebody will ask me a legal question. I'm a nice guy. I'll answer the question. And not only will I answer the question perfectly, I'll go into my computer and I'll grab 2 or 3 case sites and here, you need to read these cases. These cases will help you, solve your problem. And I even give them a couple statutes. The next thing you know, the administrator for the group, the moderator or owner of the group, they're going to reply into that message, Mr. Ewing, you just violated the terms of agreement for joining our Facebook group. You're not allowed to self-promote. You're not allowed to advertise your legal services here. And so you're now being removed. Now, I didn't know this, and I've had this happen several times, but that owner or administrator of the book, somebody had asked them that same question a week or 2 earlier or a couple months earlier. And instead of admitting they didn't know the answer, they beat around the bush, they changed the subject, but they didn't answer their question. So when this person asked me a question, I didn't know that they had already asked the question of their great leader. I made them look stupid. The person called me up and said, man, you just made our leader look stupid. And they're pissed off that they're the manager of the group, not the administrator, the manager, one of the moderators let me into the group, and I answered the question that easily, that quick. And these folks are jealous of my legal knowledge, and they're only worried I'm going to steal their donation base. They're worried I'm going to steal their client base. But I got to ask you, why the fuck would you block somebody out of your group that could help all the parents in your group? I don't charge for everything. You ask me a simple question, I'll answer it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say we can get it abolished, right? What happens to all the parents that have been already TPR'd, their kids have been adopted? What happens then? I mean, nothing can be retroactive, right? Or can it?
Oh, yes, it can. Oh, they've been lying to all the parents.
Darren, you heard that, right?
Okay, they've been lying to all the parents. So my one group, Louis Ewing Operation Greylord CPS groups, which is on Facebook, okay, and Telegram. These people didn't realize when they shut down my Facebook that I had administrators on my groups, so they didn't shut down my Operation Greylord. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. But I'm going to get them. Just watch. But here's the thing. My main group, Lewis Ewing, Operation Greylord CPS groups, that's for parents who are still currently in the system. They have not been TPR'd yet. They still get that once a week or twice a week 2-hour visit. They're still going to court to fight. My secondary group, Lewis Ewing CPS Financial Crimes Investigation Squads, is the backup group for my Operation Greylord groups. That's for parents whose rights have been terminated, and they didn't know that they could go back to fight to get their kids back because the public defenders lied to them, the assistant attorney generals lied to them, the judges lied to them, the social workers lied to them, and the guardian lied to them and said, oh, when your rights are terminated, that's it. It's over. You've lost your parental rights. You're never going to see your kids again, and there's nothing you can do. That's a lie. You can do what's called a CR60 motion to vacate judgment. In most instances, you got up to 1 year to file a regular CR60 motion to vacate judgment. But if you look at most states have a court rule or a statute. Some states have both. Right next to that statute, the very next statute, it'll give you another type of a motion to vacate judgment that will give you all the reasons why you can go beyond 1 year, such as forgery, perjury, evidence of fraud, and new evidence. And there's case law out there, I'm sure you've heard it before, that fraud vitiates all statutes of limitations. In other words, there's no statute of limitations if you can prove fraud. Okay, so you can go back. You could also do what's called a writ of certiorari to challenge a conviction or a loss of parental rights after the fact. A writ of certiorari could do it.
So what about a void ab initio?
Void ab initio, nunc pro tunc, is like if you prove something's fraud, then whatever the court order is, it's void ab initio from the beginning, nunc pro tunc, back to the beginning. That's what that means.
So how would you do that? Because Darren's been working on a void ab initio. Some lawyers that we've had on here say, oh, you got to file it. Other people said, no, you don't. Once it's stamped, the judge doesn't have to look at it. So how would you go about doing that?
Well, see, you're in a court of limited jurisdiction. Okay. When they terminate the parents' rights up in the superior court, you're in a court of record. But the family court's a court not of record. They don't have the shorthand stenographer in there. So that's why they pull their sneaky stuff like they do down in the municipal courts and the district courts. I mean, just because it has a tape recorder, that doesn't make it a court of record. There's no shorthand stenographer. So they're quite a bit more sneaky down there in the family court because it's a court of limited jurisdiction. It's not a court of original jurisdiction, part of the state. The family court is basically an adjunct of the superior court, but it is a court of limited jurisdiction.
But
and they only have the power and authority conferred by a statute. Yeah, and you folks want to look that up. In Washington State, we have a case called the City of Seattle versus Filson, Filson, and it'll tell you the courts of limited jurisdiction only have the authority and jurisdiction conferred by a statute. So the family court thing. Okay, I've named the cause of action. Here's the goalpost. So what are the causes of action? None of the groups, I want you folks to realize, these groups, they have no leader. They have no leader that's qualified, competent, or capable of leading the way against the CPS. None of them do. And I've seen the family law movement hasn't moved 1 inch from 1999. So let's go through the causes of action.
Louis, are you ready to really be the leader of this movement?
Absolutely.
Like, you want to be the head on the sword, or do you want to
It
just
doesn't matter so much of wanting to be. I'm the only person that can be.
Well, I mean, your knowledge is there. You have the ideas. You have clearly the plan, all of this. But do you really want to be
the motivation? They murdered my daughter. Okay, I got skin in the game.
I know you.
I got dead skin. They murdered my daughter in 2009. Okay, in an attempt to frame me for murder. The state of Washington, the CPS, the Pierce County prosecutor applied for a search warrant to search my house to investigate Lewis Ewing for the murder of his own daughter. And the only reason I didn't sue over that for wrongful death is because they called it SIDS. And even the county coroner told me that there's no test that they could administer to prove that actually my daughter died of an allergic reaction to something they put in her eye called erythromycin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I asked around, like in the weeks to come after she died, I was calling around to doctors and nurses. Most people were hanging up the phone on me, refusing to talk to me, until finally I got to talk to a paramedic who was a friend of my ex-girlfriend's, and I was asking, what's the reason they would put erythromycin in the eye?
Whoa. I'm sorry. Jessica Saxton is putting it up there. She says, let's debate publicly, buddy.
What's the what?
Jessica Saxton's on our messenger. She's saying, let's debate publicly.
What's the what?
Jessica Saxton is challenging you to a debate publicly right now. Right up
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, let's go for that.
Well, let's set it up.
Yeah, let's set that up.
Let's set it up.
So let me finish talking about the erythromycin.
Yeah.
So they stuck erythromycin in my daughter's eyes, and I kept asking doctors and nurses, what's the reason why they put erythromycin in my daughter's eyes instead of giving it to her topically like in a cough syrup? And a paramedic told me if they'd given it to her topically like in a cough syrup, she would have had the allergic reaction to it right away, and they would have been able to save her life if she was still in the hospital. Versus if they put it topically in the eyes, okay, it would take a couple weeks to enter her bloodstream. So we woke up a couple weeks later and my daughter was dead.
Oh my God, that's freaking horrible. I gotta go because I hear him throwing up and crying. I'm coming. Let's do the debate with Jessica on Wednesday because we got Debbie coming on tomorrow.
Oh,
All right.
good. That's going to be so fun.
All right.
Yeah, now I gotta go clean up puke.
All right. Clean up puke.
Good night.
And I'll have all the links you folks can post to the Tennessee Unauthorized Practice of Law Board. I got the links to the Attorney General for the state of Tennessee. I've got the links for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the state of Tennessee. I've also collected the same information for the District of Columbia Unauthorized Practice of Law statute. Every form, every affidavit Tanawa Downing has ever got you folks to fill out, every form and affidavit Jessica Saxton has got you guys to fill out is a violation of the Unauthorized Practice of Law statutes in every fucking state.
All right. Well, guess what? Let's not even talk about this any longer. Let's save this. Jessica, are you down with that for Wednesday?
Yeah, even better.
Wednesday. What night? Jessica, what day is good for you? What day is good for you, hon? Let's handle this. This is good. Because you know what I really think? I'm going to be perfectly honest here, man. I really think that this is a head that needs to come out. And I really think that at the end of this, I really think some good things are going to be to come. I really do.
The good things out of it is that those people are going to be prosecuted for fraud. Well, advertising on the internet asking for donations of money after giving false legal advice is a violation of the electronic mail fraud statute, and it's also a violation of the felony crime 18 U.S.C. 371 conspiracy to commit fraud and using the internet to do it. It's grounds to get their Facebook shut down, their TikTok shut down, their Instagram shut down, and even their website shut down when I report them to the FCC. They're all going down, all of them.
Well, Lewis, this really was a turn of events. We got this thing set up for Friday.
I love it.
Friday night, 8:00, right here on the Tiff and Punisher show.
Awesome.
The debate of debates. Man, this is going to be an exciting thing. This needs to happen. And I feel this is a whole different way than you do, Lewis. I think that there's some good and some people out there that are, and I think maybe they just need some guidance. And I think that
they're not good people. They're scammers.
Maybe I didn't say both of them, but I think one of them really is. And
both
I think
of them
need to be. That's
no. I informed Jessica Saxton 3-4 months ago on her own Facebook that she was misquoting Rule 17 and Rule 20 out of context. Instead of looking it up and realizing she was wrong, instead of coming out and apologizing that her boyfriend gave her the wrong script, she doubled down. She still does it to this day. There's videotapes in the last few weeks. She does the same script. 17, Rule 20. This quotes 18 U.S.C. 241. Quotes 18 U.S.C. 242. And then she tried to argue with me about grand jury indictments for her boyfriend, Tanawa Downing, who was charged with and found guilty of a felony crime in a state court. Absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know, Lewis, but I know Friday night.
All right.
It's on.
Okay, good.
So we'll be doing it Friday night, 8:00. But we'll be back tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. Lewis, thank you, my man. We'll see you very soon. Jessica, I'll be in touch Friday night. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. That's what this movement needs. Everybody, have a good night. Man, am I
All right, good night. I can't wait. This is going to be funny.
It's going to be good.
Stands unyielding with a fighter's steadfast heart, a man of law and conviction, proceed in the courtroom fray. He challenges the system, vowing to make them pay. From the streets of Washington, a tale of sorrow unfolds. A child in peril's grasp, in CPS's iron hold. With lawsuits sharp as daggers, he pierces through the veil, exposing hidden corruptions where innocence set sail. Against hospitals and workers who wield power unfair. Uncooperative they called him, but he would not bend or break. For every parent's nightmare, he rises for their sake. Organizing county groups across the states, they spread volunteers in every corner to strike where evil treads. A plan to hold accountable those who twist the law's intent. Sending social workers prison bound, their misdeeds to repent. Oh, Louis, you win, warrior bold in the battle to take down CPS. With Operation Grey Lord's fire, he seeks to right the mess. No more stolen children, no more broken homes tonight. He fights for truth and justice in the endless righteous fight. Though trials may be arduous,
Guys, Friday night, 8 o'clock. Jessica Saxton, Louis Ewing finally going to go at it, going to do this argument, and I really think that good things are going to come out of this. Maybe they don't see it yet, but I see it. This needs to happen. It needs to happen for the movement, and they need to duke it out, but I think good things are going to happen after this, and that's what I'm really hoping for. Guys, have a good night. Don't forget www.thecpspunisher.com. Check it out. They have stuff to run. See you later. Good night, everybody.
They said don't fight the system. They said stay quiet. They were wrong. Lock in. We are exposing what so many have failed to. We are going to show you what bar attorneys have hidden from all of us. Hundreds of thousands of children and twice that of parents have been lied to and walked down the road of termination. It's the death penalty. We're all of the protesters, the ones who fight for the rights of prisoners, dogs, illegal immigrants. Why aren't you coming to the aid of our children and families? Right here in America, every day is child per minute is kidnapped. And no one cares. We fight alone until today. CPS Punishers mount up. Here comes the CPS Punisher. anonymous tip. Another lie from one of them. No warrant, no proof, just a badge and a grin. Stealing kids like trophies, thinking they'll win. Mama crying on the porch, daddy in the cage. System wrote the script, but the CPS Punisher just flipped the page. The educator they banned. I see every violation, every forged line, every X part, hearing every stolen time. One tap of the app and the truth ignites. Welcome to the CPS Punisher, now we can fight. CPS and the courts have lied to us all.
The courts will not disgrace the family. CPS Punisher.
Here to avoid the chains and expose the game.
CPS Punisher.
The educator they never wanted you to find.
Punisher.
One tap and their empire cracks. We realize we take our kids back. The app is called the CPS Punisher. I'm the cape in the shadows, the skull in the night, the binder full of secrets, the weapons you all need. Ab initio, watch me void that lie. Fourth Amendment armor, watch the tyrants cry. Falsified drug test gone in a flash. I see Tebio, warrior, due process king. Every parent's hero when the hotline rings. I call it justice. Download the truth, now the system busts us. From the courtroom to the streets, hear the battle cry. The CPS Punishers arrive. Kiss your bar asses goodbye. They tried to silence us, now we're the loudest voice in the room.
CPS Punisher.
Here to avoid the chains and expose the game.
CPS Punisher.
The educator they never wanted you to find.
Punisher.
The children never leave again. Families rise, we never look back. We now use the CPS Punisher. This ain't revenge, this is reunification. This ain't rage, this is resurrection. Open the app, step into the fight. You ready?
CPS Punisher.
The app you need when they took your kid.
CPS Punisher.
The truth they hid, now the truth gets lit.
Punisher.
Download the power, take back the throne.
Punisher.
You're never alone. CPS Punisher. The educator they never wanted you to find. Void complete. Family restored. The bar is finished. The Constitution will prevail. Judges do what's right. Treason is your penalty.
CPS Punisher.
Here comes the CPS Punisher.
Every time. It's the cheapest way to do it with the warmer and the fucking. It's the warmer and the plain picture all in one. So.
They hear us. All right, guys, don't forget, it's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to her. And we're just talking about some kitty medical stuff. So have a good night, guys.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?